Jaen is the one of the oldest city in Spain, as has recently been discovered the Neolithic site of Marroquíes Bajos in the north of Jaen city. It is the name given to an archaeological site located in the city of Jaén, especially in the area of the current Park Boulevard and Andrés de Vandelvira Park, in which four phases are noticeable: Chalcolithic, Iberian, Roman, and medieval Islamic. The Neolithic. The first walls reflect the state found a small Neolithic seasonal camp in the second half of the 4th millennium before Christ. The Chalcolithic. It's ranked among the early 3rd millennium until the middle of the 2nd millennium before Christ. And settlement consists of a set of village factions as defensive, storage, etc. The space was organized enabled a series of rings stimulated by a defense system. This system allowed to collect water from the spring of the Cerro Santa Catalina, this cerro, because the name feature has brought to this settlement as a unique habitat model of prehistory of Western Europe, so it's the largest prehistory site in Europe.
Eva!
We could say that the first settlers were Musterian and Macedons. The Macedons were an Iberian people who inhabited a territory which occupied the south of the Iberian Peninsula, including Jaén. Their villages were walled with the target of defending the village. Its economy was based on textiles, cereals and olive, and the trade was so important. Its tribe had a certain hierarchy. Later, the Carthaginians conquered the area of the Guadalquivir in 237 before Christ, which would last until 231. This occupation lasted a short period of time due to the Roman invasion in 218 before Christ, defeating the Carthaginians in the Second Punic War. At the entrance of the Romans, dominated nearly the 207 before Christ, Publio Cornelio consolidated the initial population nucleus, giving the names of Orgi, Orongi, and Aurgi.
In 74 before Jesus Christ, Vespasian declared municipality and Christianity was introduced into it. It was not actually a big city. It would get up around the neighborhood of the Magdalena, heart of the whole town. Not two urban Roman remains are preserved, although there are still mosaics, many of them in the Museum of Jaén. With the fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 after Jesus Christ, Visigoths got independence, and the first third of the 6th century settled in the southeast of the peninsula.
In Jaén, Visigoths' presence was weak, and it triggered a period of decline. There were also frequent rebellions of Roman aristocracy. During this period, Orgi, Jaén, suffered a considerable reaction as indicated archaeology. There are few remains of this period. At mid-7th century, there was a crisis of the monarchy, unable to collect taxes. In this scene came the Muslim invasion in 711, which was very fast due to the disunity of Visigoth factions.
From the Arab occupation in 711, the capital was located in one of the cities elders of Jaen, La Guardia de Jaén. Changes in consequence of the administrative division triggered the current capital to Jaén to the mid-9th century. As a result of the disintegration of the Caliphate of Córdoba, in part due to the riots produced in Jaen. Jaen, the Taifa kingdoms, appeared with a Muslim territory.
We have Arabian baths from this period, and they were built in the 11th century. In the Islamic world, body grooming is a religious obligation that every Muslim must do before each of the 5 daily prayers. As all could not afford to have a bath at home, therefore public or hamam baths are created. The bathrooms were public places where they talk about politics, culture, and social issues. In 1246, Fernando III became used for tanning and dealing leather. In the late 16th century, the heir of Villadompardon built his palace over the bedrooms that were half buried, until being found in 1813.
Is a former defensive construction of medieval Christian finish. The name comes from the chapel to be built in the Castle of the Conquest. The chapel of Santa Catalina of Alejandria is Gothic and was built between the 13th and 14th centuries. The actual military function of the hill back to be Cartagena area, when a newer built an important strength to protect the Cartagena colony founded in the city. A facility that will be maintained and reinforced by the Roman after the conquest. The Islamic period from the 8th century begins rebuilding the new fortifications at the top of the hill, which offer progressive expansion to its maximum size between the 12th and 13th century. Next to the Castillo de Santa Catalina, where today is the Parador, there was an earlier fortress, the Alcázar Viejo, of which there are still some evidence. However, the current visible construction is of Christian origin, being erected after the conquest of the city by Ferdinand III in 1246, who then snatched the Moorish king Alamar. Christian is also the third enclosed fortress called Abreuil. During the 15th century, conducted a during constable of Castile Miguel Lucas de Iranzo reforms, which led to the union of the Alcázar New and the Alcázar de Abreuil, separating until then by an esplanade. These works would end with the construction.
Jaen's Jewish quarter evolved during the Middle Ages as an independent cluster of interconnected streets, mostly by walls and buildings leading to other streets, and communicate with the rest of the city center, and outskirts by only 2 access routes: Calle Los Huérfanos, Puerta de Baeza, and the exit from Calle Santa Cruz leading to the Plaza de los Caños. This urban layout was employed by Spain Jews a way of conserving their habits and religious customs, and protecting them against possible attacks by enemies. As you can see, the square of Jewish have got a big candelabrum and a beautiful star in the center, or in the middle.